Hey, check out y'all. We're a world famous young bull rider, man. How many buckles you have?
I got about 25 to 30 buckles.
Yeah, how many championships?
I done won a bunch of championships. 2014, I went to the NPBR World Finals, and I became a world champion in 2014, and then I was the only back-to-back champion to be a NPBR World Finals 2014 and 15. And I done won a PBR in Conroe.
There are moments in life when everything you've worked for, everything you love, can be ripped away in an instant. This is one of those stories. One where a young man, a rising star in the rodeo world, lost everything not to a bull but to someone he thought he could trust. A life full of promise ended by a moment of rage. A moment that shattered his family and sent ripples through a community. This is Crime of Intent. Like, subscribe, and share. Every intent reveals a darker story.
He was not a violent person, and he did not deserve this. And that's most important, that he was a bundle of love. I have to deal with my granddaughter and with her asking questions of where's her dad, when is he coming back, and how long is he going to be in heaven, and things of that nature.
Ouncie Mitchell was a name known across the rodeo world. He wasn't just a bull rider, he was a man with dreams. Dreams of competing at the highest level, representing his family and building a future for his daughter. Ouncie's world revolved around the adrenaline of the arena, where bulls could tear you apart in seconds, but where he found his rhythm, his passion. He was no stranger to danger. It was part of the job. But on the night of September 11, 2022, the danger he faced wasn't from a bull. It was from someone he loved. A woman who had once been by his side, someone he trusted. Ouncie's relationship with Lashawn Bagley was one that had its ups and downs. A love that burned brightly, but like many things in life, it came with complications. It wasn't a perfect relationship. They'd break up, get back together, and sometimes it seemed like they couldn't stay apart, even if it hurt them both. Now, Ouncie was on his way to Salt Lake City, where the Utah State Fair was happening, ready to show the world why he was ranked among the best in rodeo. But while he was competing and shining in the arena, his relationship with Lashawn was falling apart once again.
Yeah, once again, he comes to us from that bull riding family. Here's a little cowboy. I got a feeling he's going to make it into that short round. Cowboy have a chance, and it's going to be a good little short round. If you look up there, Tank Adams, he's pretty much automatic in, along with Jamarcus Whiting is automatic in. You want to go in there with the cowboy with a score. It look like Ouncie's going to try to make it happen here. Rodeo fans, it's been a good afternoon. The short round is going to be coming up.
That's where we bring the top 3 contestants from each event back to compete.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it is still rising old James Taylor. He looked pretty good as well. Denisha Henderson in the latest steering decorating. How about Matthew Sloan in the tie-down calf roping? And the Roberts girls. There's going to be a couple of them as well coming back. Tank Adams. Here's the cowboy. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, look like we got one going right here, right now.
Yeah, buddy.
Listen closely, because what happened after the competition that night would change everything. After Ouncie finished his ride and soaked in the excitement of his performance, he made a choice that would seal his fate. He decided to visit Lashawn. Some say he was going to pick up his things and move on. Others say he just wanted to talk, to try and fix things one last time. Either way, he drove to her apartment, unaware that this visit would end in tragedy. As Ouncie stood outside her door, ready to speak with Lashawn, a storm of emotions was already brewing inside. The tension between them wasn't new. It had been growing for months. Jealousy, suspicion, and feelings of betrayal. This wasn't a calm conversation that awaited him. This was a final confrontation that would take a deadly turn. The last text message Ouncie sent to Lashawn was calm, almost routine. He wasn't looking for a fight. He was looking for closure. But things weren't going to end that easily. When Ouncie knocked on the door, nothing happened. He knocked again, still no answer. He tried calling, texting. Finally, he walked over to the balcony and tapped on the door, hoping she'd open up. And then it happened. The door opened slightly, and in a split second, shots rang out through the glass. Ouncie collapsed outside. By the time police arrived, Ouncie was lying on the ground, barely alive, bleeding heavily. His breathing was shallow, and as paramedics tried to save him, it was clear the damage was too severe. What happened that night is still hard to comprehend. How could a man who faced bulls that could kill him, who had stared death in the eye in the rodeo arena, be taken down by a bullet shot by someone he trusted?
It is very unexpected. We expected him to die by the bull, not by the bullet.
The family of a professional bull rider from Fort Bend County now mourning his tragic death in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, police there saying that a female acquaintance killed Ouncie Mitchell while he was in town for the Utah State Fair. Jason Miles is live from Fresno with more from his grieving family. Jason.
Hey there, guys. Yeah, this is a small rodeo venue here in the Fresno area of Fort Bend County, where I'm told Demetrius Allen learned to ride bulls. He was known as Ouncie Mitchell on the professional circuit, where his family says he was living his dream until a nightmare Monday morning.
Listen carefully. The police were quick to question Lashawn. Her story didn't make sense. She told them she thought someone was trying to break in, that she fired the gun in self-defense. But there were no signs of forced entry. Ouncie hadn't been armed. He wasn't threatening her. He just wanted to retrieve his belongings to leave peacefully. The details didn't add up. There were no fingerprints on the door except hers. She had been inside and he had been outside when the shot was fired. That was the first crack in her story. The investigation dug deeper. They examined the texts, the messages Ouncie sent that night. They were calm. He wasn't angry. He wasn't looking for a fight. He just wanted to leave. But Lashawn's actions had turned this ordinary night into one of violence. Her response to the shooting was strange. Instead of calling 911 immediately, there was a delay. That silence, that missing time, spoke volumes. And when police arrived, Lashawn was acting nervous, pacing back and forth, avoiding eye contact. The bullet's path was clear. Ouncie had been shot while standing outside the apartment, and there was no reason for it.
We were prepared for the arena, but for him to be taken from us by a gunshot, that was something that we couldn't have imagined.
No break-in, no threat, no fight that could justify the shot. Ouncie Mitchell was a man who had risked his life on the back of a bull. He had faced danger and come out the other side with his spirit intact. But on that September night, he faced a danger he didn't see coming. A danger from someone he loved. His death sent shockwaves through the rodeo world. Fans, friends, and family were left grieving. Ouncie was a man who was loved by many, no, not just for his talent, but for his big heart and his love for his family.
Integrity, respect, humorous, adventurous. He was a force. He was a spirit.
Ouncie's grandmother, Mama Minty, describes him as a one-of-a-kind man who loved to ride, loved to fish, and was a great dad to his now 5-year-old daughter. He'd come over each year to put up lights and help her get ready for the holidays, but this go-round, he wasn't there.
This year, it was Christmas, but it didn't seem like Christmas without Ouncie. I miss my Ouncie, and she didn't have to take his life. All he wanted was his things to go to the next bull ride. So she could have given it to him. Why didn't she?
His daughter, who had always looked up to him, now had to grow up without him. But the story didn't end there. Lashawn fled Utah shortly after the shooting, leaving the authorities to chase her down. She was eventually captured in Texas months later and brought back to face charges. But even then, justice seemed uncertain. In January 2024, the judge dismissed the charges against her, citing that she had acted in self-defense under Utah's Castle Doctrine. This ruling left Ouncie's family devastated. They felt robbed not just of a son, but of the justice that they believed he deserved.
All right, now Sim also says that in Utah, you have the right to protection in your own space and the right to defend yourself, especially in your own home. He says that's protected by law. Sims also says that yesterday the case was dismissed with prejudice. So that means the case cannot be refiled unless the state appeals the judge's decision. And his family says they want justice.
This verdict was just like, it was like killing him all over again. I feel like we deserved better. I feel like we were robbed. It's just horrible that you can commit murder and just get away with it.
How could a man who had risked everything for his family, who had fought bulls that could have killed him, lose his life like this? His family, his friends, and the rodeo community mourned the loss of a man who had so much more to give. His legacy lived on, though. Tributes from fellow riders, his name on memorial banners, and his spirit continuing to inspire others. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, sometimes the greatest risks we face aren't in the rodeo arena. They come from the people we trust the most. Subscribe, like, and stay tuned for more stories like this on Crime of Intent. Every intent reveals a darker story.